Thanks, Esteban. Nick, so second phase of preseason almost ended. You got Austin, but what's your assessment of Coachella based on what you hope to achieve and accomplish as a group?
I think we knew that the first camp, I've said previously, the first camp was going to be all about the physical nature of the team and trying to see what capacity we have and really stress the capacity of the team. I was pleased. And this camp was all around the game style of the team and blending the team and getting the balance right between the offensive side of the game and the defensive side of the game. We spoke a lot about wanting to develop the defensive side of our game, and coming into the 5th preseason game and finishing it is I'm really pleased with where we're at.
Follow up? Oh, nice. What more specifically on the defensive side? You've talked about the pressing is maybe going to be a little different or more extensive and based on your physical preparation. So what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think you can see it's really evident. You can see that when we look at the data of the team. I can see it with my eyes, but when we refer to the data to see if what we're seeing is actually what's happening, the team is a lot higher than it was defensively last year. The team is a lot more aggressive. The amount of pressures we're putting on the ball, the amount of the aggression that we're showing, the amount of goal opportunities that we're getting into from turnovers and from defensive transitions are there. We want to be cleaner. We want to create bigger chances. But if you look at a lot of the goals across pre-season, I'm really pleased that they've come from those moments. They've come from just the front-footed nature of the team. And what I was really pleased with today is I think we struck the balance well with creating opportunities and chances from possession moments, from deeper transition moments, but also from those pressing and counter-pressing moments.
Thank you.
Oliver?
Hi, thank you. We saw glimpses of Maximo Carrizo and over the course of this camp also Christian McFarland and Malachi Jones. Will we be seeing them in MLS games this season?
I think everyone's sort of situation is a little bit different, so I'll sort of take them up individually. I think Maximo Carrizo, I'm really disappointed that the fans didn't get to see probably the most impactful moments that he had, in the sense of he played a lot of the minutes outside of the streamed minutes. He actually scored the winner against Portland when we continued the game on after that. He's somebody that has huge potential, that is really growing in his moments with the first team, but it's also very soon for him. I think for him, his key involvements and his key development moments will come with MLS too. And I think if he can accelerate those moments, the future is exceptionally bright for him. I think Christian McFarland, if you look at our roster, I think we have 2 left backs on the roster, and Christian is the second choice left back. Kevin O'Toole has the shirt at the moment, but it's between those 2 players that we really believe in Christian, and he is that next homegrown player that is on the conveyor belt from our academy, from Tavon Gray to Andres Jason to James Sands to Justin Harkin and the plethora of players we've had. We really believe in him, and he's a first team player. So to get him minutes in pre-season, to put him out there against established MLS players was really pleasing for me, and gives us as coaches and him in his career a great opportunity to develop and learn from the video, from the moments, from the physical nature of training with our first team consistently, and from having the mentality and the understanding that he's a first team player. Malachi is a first team player. We drafted him and got him in, and I think we thought he was going to be a first team player, but I think he's only proven in preseason. That's why he got the start in the Portland game, because he's proved that his work rate, his physical ability, his enthusiasm and his desire to be within our team and in the starting 11 is there. He needs just to learn the game. This level is new for him. And it is, for him, I think the challenge for Malachi will be that everyone can see the incredibly competitive position that he is in, whether it be him or Tales, or I played Hannes or Santi off the sides. We have Andres Jason, we have Agustin Ojeda to join the group, we have Julian Fernandez. It's an incredibly it's going to be hard for one of the wingers to nail down a position, but that's what we want, competition for places.
Andrew? Hi, Andrew Lee from Hudson River Blue. Thank you for taking the time. You mentioned Augustino Heda. You'll have a few players that are still set to join the team that basically won't have had much of an opportunity to play during the preseason. Does that sort of affect your plans for how you envision sort of rolling the team out at the early part of the MLS season? And I guess it's a case-by-case basis for each player, but like, are they sort of coming in at any sort of disadvantage from having to sort of come in without the chance to play in preseason at all? Like, do you sort of look at that as a setback, or it's sort of part of the plans, knowing each person's situation might be different?
Yeah, I think it's 50-50, isn't it? I don't think it helps either of us not having them in the preseason, but I think what helps those individuals is I really wanted to add them to the roster, so I have a real desire to get those guys in the group, and we brought them to play. We brought them to challenge the guys that are in the team now. We brought Strahinja to challenge Thiago Martins and Bert Rieser, and we brought Agustin to challenge the guys that play off the side and attack spaces and create goal chances and score goal chances. So I saw it's 50-50. I want them here as quick as possible. I'm pushing the front office to push through the visa situations, but I understand it's a process, and they do incredible work to get these guys in. I hope we get them as early as possible, and as early as we get them in, they'll be within our training group, and then we'll assess how early it will be, how we can integrate them within a starting 11, within a bench, within a squad, once they're here, and we see sort of how quick it takes them to blend with the team.
JR?
JR DeBart, Blue City Radio. Coach, during the 2023 MLS regular season, there was only one instance in which NYCFC had identical starting lineups in back-to-back games. Are you going to make a concerted effort to have more consistency in the starting 11 for this season?
I've said before, if I go off the history of myself as a head coach, I've always, I've been really honest in these press conferences. If you look at my teams, I've always tended to go with form over freshness, because I think when the team is in form, that's really important. I think we all know that we didn't have the form consistently that we wanted last year, and that, in my opinion, and if you look across maybe some periods last year when we got injuries or suspensions, and those are the things that don't allow you to roll the team out consistently. I want to gain the opportunity to get a team that starts to blend and starts to really gain form and consistency and really embed in the performance that we want to have, and the New York team that we expect. The challenge that I have is I have an incredibly competitive roster. I think one of the things that we all know, players and staff, is that the brutal nature of MLS, of Open Cup, of Leagues Cup, and going into a post-season, which is where we have a huge desire to be, in form and in a fresh nature to be able to take the game load, is where, resting and having to change the starting lineup is the nature of our league. So I don't think you'll see as much change based on getting consistency in performance, but there will always have to be an element of change.
Roberto?
Hi, Nick. Good speaking with you. It's been a long time. I don't put too much stock into results as far as preseason or anything like that. You look at performances, you look at individuals. At least that's the way I've always looked at it. But a couple of things that I've seen that have sort of come up is that the team last year had some difficulty with set pieces defensively. And again, in this preseason, we've seen a couple of goals that have come off set pieces. Is this an area of concern, or because it's preseason, you're working on different things and things like this happen?
Yeah, I think we have a huge focus on it because of the situation we were in at the start of last season. I think when we did the postseason review, we looked at how the team developed the ability to be more solid on set play. I think my huge desire is we need to score more from our own set play. I need more from Thiago Martins and Bert Rieser and Thales Magno and these guys that have real good aerial ability. We have to score more goals from our own set play. I think when you look at the goals that we concede, we look at all of our squads and we look at all of our goals conceded and goal chances conceded, and it's not ideal to make so many changes. I mean, when I look at my set play coach Rob Vartugian, it's difficult for him to readjust the set plays when you make 11 changes. So it's the nature of pre-season. Changes come and go. There's different changes here and there. And I think the one thing, we were disappointed today in the game today was that when we have a huge focus on our ability to start the season strong on set play, we didn't defend the corner in the first half. So we were talking about this at halftime. So it's an area we need to improve in, but I think, we don't panic too much in preseason based on the nature of having to change the squads and make so many changes across the games.
Ronnie?
If I can follow up with something just different. You talked about a lot of the youth players that you have, and there's a whole bunch of newcomers as well. Is there anybody who was maybe before preseason, as you were putting together your depth chart, that has now improved to a level or shown something that has been able to climb up the depth chart and either compete for a starting spot or be the first guy off the bench that maybe you didn't expect?
I don't necessarily say that I didn't expect it. With Malachi, we didn't know. We didn't know how he would adapt to our environment. We didn't know how he would adapt to the change in level. And he's one definitely that I've been really, really surprised with. I gave him the start against Portland because he earned it. He forced his way between all of the wingers because of his effort in training, his ability on the press, and his aggression on the reaction press and counter-pressing moments is excellent. And he also has the ability to run in behind. You see in that Portland game, he runs offside 2 or 3 times, but the desire to run in behind is there. So I think he is one that has definitely forced his way into my thinking. I think the other side, the younger players, it's been really enjoyable to work with our academy players. It's been 3-4 pre-seasons for me now since they've been here, and I think this is the first pre-season that you see the maturity and the growth and the real development that they are showing. I thought Johnny Shaw was excellent in the second half today, coming in against an established MLS midfield. Maximo Carrizo scored the winner against Portland when we played the extra minutes, and Jacob Arriave and Drew Baera have been they've really shown that they're not so far away. It's difficult to make the step from academy to MLS2 and MLS2 to our league, but they're showing that they have the desire and they're on the path.
Fantastic. Thank you. See you here in New York.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roberto. Ronnie?
Hey, Coach. Ronnie from Soccer View Radio. Just wanted to circle back. We've had a little bit more time now with Hannes Wolf. Just wanted to ask you really on, as of this week, what you've seen a little bit more from him on, and perhaps some of the quality that he's been bringing to the attack along with Tales and Moonsaf and Santi. What can you tell us really on what you've been seeing from him more as you have more time with him? Thank you.
Yeah, I think you can see when you watch the moments that he's involved in the play is the flashes of the real ability that he has. I think he, when you take a guy from one of the top 5 leagues in the world, you have the potential to have a big player in your team. And I think it was disappointing at the start of this camp. Hannes was sick, so he didn't play so much against San Jose. I think we saw a little bit more. We played him off the right and moved him inside when we had possession. And today we played him a little bit more central and allowed him and Santi to sort of play together and find spaces. And I think you can see the moments in possession when he plays between the lines that he is, you can really see his ability. He runs in behind really well. He brings us a different dimension. When we have a lot of players that want to play with the ball, his running off the ball is excellent. I think his super strength for us will be on the press. I think, we know where how he's been developed as a player and his journey. And I think he has a real, he's really dynamic and really aggressive on the press. You can see he's really enthusiastic to go get the ball back. And I think for us, he will be a huge benefit in that sort of shift of how we want to change our team and improve our team defensively.